Oh, we are here now. Into the frequency of gold and green do we arrive, ladies of communion, the way of the spiritual. If we can go ahead and mute ourselves, that would be beautiful. Making sure everyone is muted so we have a clean space. We finally made it through the temple of Kali Ma. I feel like we've been in that temple for lifetimes. It was the most extended version of Kali Ma that I have personally experienced. And so I know that there is some relief to be in this temple. Here we are, the gold and the green sitting right here. The amber is on the temple. We have the golden orb of light to illuminate the light shield of the Lady of Communion and to really enter into this part of our journey. We made it through the fourth gateway and we're into the fifth gateway. And the fifth gateway is I intend, I empower. It is everything to do with authentic power and sovereignty and our knowing of how we are called to embody these principles through into the flesh, through into the viscera of our bodies. This word embodiment, to come into the physical form, to bring spirit through into this and into everything that is touched, is at the heart of the alchemical work. It's our ability to be able to infuse this vessel and to remember that our lineages come from the stars and the center of the earth. And in fact, that's the very same place. For we are a star. The earth is a star in the solar system. And if there was others who were looking out from their planets to our planets, they would see us as a star. Perhaps in their night sky, perhaps hanging close to their moon. Who knows? And so this expansion of our awareness of this embodiment is everything that we walk on this path becomes the kiss of the soles of our feet upon Mama Gaia's earth as she kisses us back with the energy of life. And that we are here as her emissaries, spiritual warriors from the land of gentle in the color of green and gold, that we came to inhabit this earth plane specifically to become creatrixes, specifically to master the domain of living connected to the galactic lineage at the same time as being connected to our earthly lineage and marrying that in the alchemy of our hearts, of our awakened responsibility, knowing that everything that we choose to intend, from I focus, I create, to I intend, I empower, everything that we bring focus to and that we then place into an intention with the bow and arrow of our consciousness becomes reality. That we are co-creating in that dance. And that dance is one that the Lady of Communion offers to all of us to deepen into. What does it mean for us to stand as warriors of the spiritual kind? What does it mean for us to stand as sentinels of Gaia's guardianship? What does it mean for us to steward this reality consciously? What does it mean for us to walk in our sovereignty, our authentic power? We call on the energies and the archetypes and the goddesses of Diana and Artemis and those who have come before us, who have shown the way of being connected into all of life. Lady, Lady, Lady of Communion. Lady, Lady of Light. Lady of Communion. She is the one that runs in the forest, the one that is at this level of union and communion with all beings. That there is no hierarchy in her vision of the world. That every being is sovereign. Every being has sovereign choice. on the highest octave of our evolutionary reality. Now, how that filters down through into our 3D lived reality, well, therein lies the rub, right? Therein lies the deepest challenge that we might have in walking as alchemists at this time, which is the outpicturing of our world appears to be so deeply asunder, rent asunder, so deeply not in alignment with this notion of sovereignty and all being a choice and nobility. And so we are being asked at this gateway to enter into deepening our relationship to the truth of what it means to be a sovereign being, to choose authentic power, and to choose to show up fully for the initiations that arise when one starts to step into power and starts to utilize power consciously to create. So, hail and welcome, beloved sisters, to this gateway. May we enter in consciously. And there is a beautiful piece that has arisen in our temple in the last few days that was begun by Janice Sapphire. And I don't know if you're here, beloved, but I'm naming you as the name of the priestess sister who's called our attention to this, which is how are we being called, all of us, to hold a deeper coherency in this space. And I wanted to speak to that because this is connected into this archetype. For this archetype embodied resonance is at the heart of her alchemy, bringing it all the way through and choosing to come into that we are all 100% responsible for our own selves. Now, this is the interesting paradox in the Lady of Communion, because the Lady of Communion really, really, really invites us to step over the threshold of realizing there's no such thing as a single self. That every action, every conscious thought, every offering that is made into the field of consciousness affects all of us, because we are that oneness. We are in communion here. And so at this gateway, we are asked to step into the sovereign queen, sitting on our own throne. And from that position in consciousness, there is no leader. Ahaha! That's a difficult concept for us because we're so really, really deeply embedded in a patriarchal system that has hierarchy as the way that we govern the world. But there is some other way that's wanting to come through to be alchemized. Not to say throwing hierarchy out with the bathwater, but to bring in this other form of leadership that is the leadership from within, that is the organism itself. You know, in quantum physics, currently, there's a beautiful debate going on, right? Where we've come to the conclusion, we've always had this idea that consciousness needed an observer in order for consciousness to exist. Thus, we have the dualistic notion of observer and subject. I'm looking at you, Isula, or you, Lee, or you, Sharon, right? I am looking at you. And that subject-object relationship is at the heart of this dualistic notion that we're stuck in, right? The paradigm that we're all going, let me out, this doesn't work anymore, right? Okay, but the discovery that's been made is that the observer is not out there, it's in here. The observer is in here, looking at this as the oneness. There is no out there. There's no subject-object in quantum physics. There's just the observer and the observed within us. It's one. It's in a beautiful relationship of flowing back and forth like this. Does that remind you of something? The caduceus, right? Weaving. So there isn't this static, dualistic, binary notion of I'm here and you're there. No, we're in this constant ebb and flow, creating one another as we go. I'm creating you, you're creating me. And that is at the heart of the Lady of Communion. She knows she's in co-creation with everything, the birds, the bees, the grasses and the trees and the sun and the waters, all of the elementals, all of the fairies, all of the gnomes, all of the in-betweens, all of the devas, not just the seen realms, but the unseen realms. And so the invitation is for us to recognize that we are called to both sit in sovereignty on our sovereign thrones knowing the truth of our own hearts, and get that we are but one nodal point of the holographic awareness of the one. And when we sit in council with one another, that is what we are invoking. So I invoke us to now, at this point in our journey, realize that although I may be the one sitting up here transmitting in this moment, that all of us are in council. And there is no one here who is less than or more than. And that is the breaking of the paradigm. So Janice, thank you for inviting us all to be in communion and to get that we are the temple. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing in your life, if you want to pull the energy of the temple with you, you do that through your consciousness. You do it through lighting the candle. Here it is. Should bring it up here so we can all have the lit candle with us. There we go. But that is the work of our priestessing, to embody it. You know, how we hold coherency here is through intent. When you post in temple, what is the intention of your posting? What are you calling us to bring into our awareness? What's the prayer? What's the blessing? What's the invocation? What is it you want us to create together in that moment? And every time we do that, we are bringing ourselves into a deeper level of coherency of what is real. So I have to ding to that. Where's the dinger? The dinger has disappeared. Hang on 1 second. We can't possibly run a whole temple without the dinger. Where's the dinger? Okay, well, apparently this is the dinger for today. So let us begin now by bringing ourselves into our sovereign thrones, beloved. Let us find our seat. For this is the archetype that we are most called into, to find our seat. So let us take a breath and to feel the energy of green and gold. This energetic shift from black, red, and white through to green and gold, and this sense of our seat. And so I want you to bring your attention all the way down through your body, down through your spine, down, down, down to the very root of your spine. And on a deep out breath, releasing, just moving your pelvis a little to feel those sits bones, the root of your spine, dropping down now into Mama Gaia, dropping down into the rich, dark, succulent, fertile earth. Feeling the soles of your feet on the ground. And as you feel the root now dropping deep into Mama Gaia's body, and spreading your roots out, stretching like the canopy of a tree, as above, so below. And feeling the roots of our sisterhood of the enter the mystery circle of all those who have stepped onto the initiate path, past, present, and future in this moment. Feeling this temple, the heartbeat of the temple, and feeling your roots beginning to interlace with the roots of the sisters who are standing in different areas of the world, holding this intention to be a living embodiment, an emissary of Mother's grace, a walking vessel of divine alchemy. And just feeling this connectivity weaving itself into a lattice work, a crystal grid work of information, of gnosis, of wisdom, of support, of eternal, timeless support. For we are an etheric temple and have always been an etheric temple. That is the nature of Avalon. And we, through our intention, at any moment, with our consciousness, can choose to connect into the grid work, the crystalline structures of this place known as Avalon. And so letting that happen now and feeling the light food running through your roots, this deep emerald green liquid light
running through all of our roots, creating this beautiful orb of green liquid light from which each one of us is being nourished and connected into the earth element, Mama Gaia's element, out of which everything grows in this holy, sacred planet. And then breathing up this liquid green emerald light up through the soles of your feet, through the legs. Breathing it all the way up into the root chakra, into that very first chakra, and feeling it being nourished by the plants and the trees and the elementals and the wisdom of this planet, of Gaia herself. And letting that grounded, gold, beautiful green light continue to seep up like sap through the roots, up through the trunk of your being, up through the second chakra. Breathing it up now, up through the third, and letting it land into the heart and the high heart, lifting your heart heavenward a little to feel this nourishment, this sustainability, this connection to the power of creation, the power of the evolution of all life that is within our cellular being, that we are encoded toward and that we are directly part of. Feeling each one of us now vibrating with this green light. And now bringing your consciousness up through your throat, through your third eye to your crown, and right above your crown chakra, feeling that golden liquid orb of light, the solar logos, the noble father, the galactic connection, this golden light of the sun that kisses and marries the green of the earth into life. Through the sacred union of the gold and green, in oneness does life appear in all of its splendor. And so letting now that golden orb of light begin to stream down like liquid honey through your crown chakra, like in absolute ecstasy of receiving this light into all of the light sensitive parts of your brain, kissing them awake, bringing them present into this frequency as it runs down and touches into your third eye, and runs down and touches into your pituitary, and runs down to the very base of the back of your skull, awakening the ancient ones, the future and the ancient, the front and the back of the head being united now, awakening as the golden liquid continues to soften down through your face and down through your throat chakra, warming like honeybees. Softening your shoulders, lighting up the palms of your hands and the fingertips in beautiful flowers of life, arriving in the palms and the fingertips, streaming out through your hands. And then letting that golden liquid light stream now down into the heart where it meets the green emerald of Mother, and they begin to dance in the DNA Mobius strip in sacred union, blending and dancing like the color of sunlight through leaves. As you feel this vital life force energy of the spark of creation coming from this union of the sun kissing Mother's feet, the sun kissing Mother's body, the sun, the male, the logos, kissing into the feminine, the divine and the feminine, the embodied and the humanity, all being put together in one dance. And letting that spiral in your heart center, letting it emanate this golden green light throughout every cell of your being of I am here now. I am here now in service to all life. Hail and welcome, Lady of Communion. Hail and welcome, Artemis, Diana. Hail and welcome, she who protects all life. She who walks with her feet on the earth and her hands reaching towards the stars, knowing that she is both and all and none, knowing that she is the one who came here to be the balance of this sacred union, the Heros Gamos, the union of the divine feminine and divine masculine in sacred union within our holy temple vessel. And feeling now your sovereign throne beneath you as you lock into the root and the crown and feel your back aligning on your throne, sitting in your center and receiving this rebalancing between the gold and the green that is neither one nor the other, becomes a sacred union of a third being born into existence. I am neither male nor female. I am neither light nor dark. I am that I am. I am the snake with wings. I am the moon that flows with I am the moon that flows with sunlight. I am a star that's buried in the earth. I am, we are, collective avatar. And so from within this space, beloveds, I invite you to come into empty presence while sitting on your throne, opening your eyes to meet my eyes across all the ages and to simply drop into your sovereign throne. So dropping in and parting the veils as we have done so many times before. Using one of my eyes as a light corridor to travel between the veils, dropping your mind, continuing to soften your gaze. This practice of inviting in our multi-dimensional knowing is the seminal practice. And as you continue to drop, continuing to defocus your eyes so that they begin to access the non-ordinary state of seeing that dissolves the normal coordinate points. You may notice, as you have done before, my face shape shifting, and simply noticing that. You may notice light or shadow around me. You may notice a feeling of different parts of your skull or brain activating. Just noticing what floats through your awareness with no attachment. Continuing to deepen in and just seeing what is in your awareness in this moment. What is in your awareness? If anyone is inspired to share from this space and this moment, what is arising from the womb of silence, I invite you to put your hand up, and if Lee, you can unmute people so I can hold empty presence here. That would be wonderful. I'm aware of having entered into the golden green and feeling your presence around the round table of the sovereign queens, and the invitation at this place in the journey to step in. I am aware of great joy in my heart at feeling your presence as oneness, sisters. So I'm just feeling if there is any other awarenesses and really seeing what rises up in your awareness. Narayana. Maybe images or symbols.
Thank you, Lee. What is in my awareness is the desire to remain in this circle with sovereign queens and feeling very challenged to be in the mundane world of the present day. It just really strongly came up for me that it's very hard to be here.
Is that true?
Pardon?
Is that true? Really drop down, sister. Is it hard to be here, or what is real here?
I feel that I spend a lot of time not fully present.
So what is real? So I'm going to cut because that's a story. Can you feel the story? I want you to come to this present moment right now. What's real right now, sweetheart? In this moment right now, what are you aware of?
Not wanting to be in the chaos of my present life.
What do you choose right now? In this exact moment, you have a sovereign choice. What will it be? Yeah. This is the initiatory work. What is it right now that you choose, sister?
I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing.
Well, there's nothing wrong to say, beloved. I'm asking you to stop being in the story and choose something right now. You have power and alchemical space to make it so. What do you choose? Do you choose to be here right now and to be in the present joy of being with your sisters? Or do you choose to be in the story of the chaos and the mundane things that want to take your attention away from the nourishment of being here now? Do you get that?
Yes. I was referring to the rest of my life.
I know. And that's not real right now, because what's real is what's here. And that's how we avoid being in what's real, is we go to the future or the past and we don't stay in the present moment. So can you choose to stay present and be nourished and choose to be shifted and alchemized in this potent field right now, and to hold that with us, to stay present?
Yes, I choose to be present.
Thank you. Thank you. See, there's no right or wrong answer, beloved. It's not about that. It's about what you choose in this moment from your voice. What you choose to actually focus on and create, to intend and empower.
I was feeling the urge to not be in the past. So
thank you. So for all of us right now, let's breathe and bring back coherency to this moment. Drop out of the mind. This is a practice, right? This is our practice. Coming back and dropping out of the mind. And the Lady of Communion brings us to the place of discipline and commitment and integrity and responsibility, where we have to know that way that we use our consciousness has everything to do with what gets created. And so the Lady of Communion brings us back again and says, what is it that you choose in your sovereign being right now to create from that intention? Because everything is energy. Power is nothing but energy and emotion, right? It's where you put it. It's how it's moving through you. So where do you choose to put it? If the Lady of Communion has one of her tools as being the bow and arrow, which it is, Artemis always carries her bow and arrow with her. What is the significance of the bow and arrow? Feel it for a moment. Why would she carry that symbol? What is embedded in that symbol? Let's just feel it together. And anyone who wants to speak to that can speak to it. Let's feel it together. What is the nature of the bow and arrow? I think someone else has their hand up, beloved, but I want to stay as much as I can without my glasses on so I can stay diffused.
Sharon, you are unmuted.
Yeah, what is real in this space, beloved?
In this moment, what is real for me is surrendering, because before, when we were doing the focusing on you, I was too much in my head, and I was working too hard at it. And then the last person that spoke, when you said, what is real? What do you choose? I realized that I need to choose surrender.
So are you asking to be witnessed in choosing that right now, sister?
Yes, I am.
And we witness you.
Thank you.
I choose to surrender my mind.
Yes.
It works so hard to try to do it right.
Yes.
Thank you for that awareness, because that keeps you out of this.
Yes.
Our mystical awareness cannot be accessed through the mind that is worrying about any of that. And what the Lady of Communion is here to remind us is that we are powerful beyond all measure. Do we choose to access that power, to bring ourselves into alignment with where we wish to shoot the arrow of our intention? Beautiful. Thank you for that awareness, beloved. Okay. What else is real here in this moment? Let's just stay, drop down and in and breathe. Diffuse your vision. Quit trying to do it. Just let it happen.
Jen, sister, you are unmuted.
Thank you. I felt very drawn to the symbolism of the bow and arrow.
Thank you. Can you speak as the bow and arrow, what you are receiving, sister? I am the bow and arrow. You can do it like that, as that form, that would help us receive it mythically.
I am the bow and arrow. I am a tool in the hands of you. I require you to find your target, to point me to it, to aim, and then to release.
Thank you, beloved, for that offering into the bow and arrow. Can you say it one more time so that we can really receive that medicine?
I am the arrow. I am your tool. What I require is that you hold me, you find your target, you point me to it by aiming, and then you release.
Thank you. Beautiful. So inside of that offering, we receive this paradoxical piece of the Lady of Communion, which is that we have to, from Kali Ma, focus I create, from the Lady of Communion, I intend, I now bring my conscious intention, and then I shoot it like an arrow, and then I surrender, I release it, because I am not in charge of where it hits. I have a target in mind, but Mother, the universe, the divine play may take that arrow to a different direction, and I must trust that what evolves from that co-creativity is in service, that there are no mistakes, but that when I shoot my arrow, my intention is clear, for the intention is what carries the arrow to the target that wishes to be activated from that intention. So thank you for that awareness. So into this field of practice, you may notice that I am wanting to hold coherency with you, because I want us all to begin to feel what it's like when we drop out of our minds versus being in the mind and struggling right? This is the work. It's to drop down and through so that you are sitting here, available as a vessel to receive what Mother wants you to hear. So what else is real in this space? I think there's another hand I'm sensing that went up. Maybe wrong on that. And if there's anything in the chat box, Lee, that you want to present in this moment while I hold empty presence, that could also be a powerful way to share what is evolving in the space.
Evelyn shares, I am the bow and arrow, targeting my truth and being in alignment of this truth.
Thank you.
And Maria, let me find you, and you are unmuted, sister.
Hi. Yeah, I am just having really strong like heart palpitations and energy just rushing up through my body at the moment, particularly around my heart and solar plexus, and it's really, really intense energy. What kept coming to my mind was peace and beauty. It was just a really, really strong energy. But
can I ask you to slow down for a moment and really feel this in the present moment, sweetheart, to transmit it to us? And speak as that energy and do it slowly so we can really feel it. This is one of the arts inside our practice, is to transmit through our own being the image and symbol and feeling. So let's receive that from you.
Okay. As I said, it just feels like focusing on my choice to focus on peace and beauty, and the expansive energy. That's what's coming to my mind. And
so slow down for a second. I want you to feel your mind. We don't want your mind.
Okay. Well, my body is going crazy.
Yeah, well, that's what we want to hear from. So let's just slow your mind down for a moment. And I'm going to invite you to just speak as I am. Speak as this energy. I am.
Just feel like I am opening. Something is opening up.
Beautiful. So I am opening. And then just receive what the next part is. I am opening.
I'm opening to receive from the universe, from the goddess.
Beautiful. So let us all just sit with that. I am opening to receive from the universe, from the goddess. So I want us to feel that and how different that is to thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the shift to embodiment, darling.
Okay.
The Lady of Communion, bringing it all the way through. We are her vessels. And that energy that you are feeling in your body, in your solar plexus, in your heart, right? That's her speaking to you in ecstasy, going, I am here. You be with me. Let me move you. Let me animate you, beloved. Right?
Right. I'm getting it.
Welcome, sister. So I want us to all receive that, to risk receiving that in your own body right now. That you are an instrument of the goddess, that she wishes to move through you. And the more that we surrender to her, the more that we open to her, the more willing we are to say, I am here in devoted service, Mother. I am a daughter of yours, Mother. Use me. Show me. I am your vessel. This is the path of the priestess. This is why you are here. This is why we came. This is the Shakti that is running through our bodies to clear any part of us that would disparage or dispel or somehow say that that's not real. Okay, that's your transmission, beloved. I received it. Is that accurate?
That is it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want you to get that. That's all I did was surrender myself to receive you in that moment, to actually translate it. And that's one of our jobs as priestesses, to translate the divine into words and energy that can be felt in this realm, and to say, yes, I am that. Woo!
Yes. Woo!
Narayana, woo, honey, you got some juice moving. Wow, I'm so hot.
Yes, oh my. Woo.
Wow. Anyone else feeling that? Flap your hands if you're feeling hot right now. I got the Shakti moving. Woo. Woo. Narayana. Narayana is the mantra for the Lady of Communion.
Narayana. Got it.
Ooh, she wants to be here. She wants us to listen, and we have to surrender our minds to get that, because if we try to think it, we can't think that. How can you think that? You can't. You have to feel it. And that is the language of navigation as us as priestesses. And the Lady of Communion says, there is so much power in your being. And you are a vessel of that power, and it's your job to utilize that power in service of creating the world that you intend. And you have a responsibility to it. And anything that shows up in your world that's not what you would want, you need to clear that up and choose something else, and choose something else, and choose something else, and choose something else, because that's your job. That's your job. Whew, Narayana. Whew. So don't ever doubt that what you have to say or the experience that you're having is just yours alone. It is not. Do you get the communion aspect? Like, we are not alone here. Like, if any one of us is feeling something in this temple, bring it to the temple, because it's for all of us. It's not just about you, because you don't actually exist in separation. The Lady of Communion is really wanting you to get this today. She's like, come on, everybody, get in the pool. Get in here with your juicy, gorgeous, authentic energy, and let's create something incredible together, because that's what we came here to be. Creatrixes of the divine, manifestors of extraordinary beauty. Hail and welcome. I see there are hands up. Let us keep going. It feels like this is what this time is meant to be for. Let us keep going. What is real?
Megan Love, you are unmuted.
What is real in this moment for me is feeling the love and the support of the universe, the golden rays of the sunshine, and the gentle caressing of the wind, and this feeling of presence that is always there.
So can I invite you to speak it in a mythical way for us, my beloved? And when we move something from personal to mythical, we step into the I am. And it's not the personal I, it's the collective I. So can you speak as I am? I am the wind, I am the whatever it was that came through you. Could you speak it to us from that lensing so we can receive it as a transmission?
I am the loving golden rays shining down upon each and every sister, spreading the light and the love for the one.
Oh. Can you feel the difference between those two ways of saying that in yourself, my love?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the difference? Can you just tell us for you?
I feel the connectedness, and I feel the love coming from my heart to.
Thank you, Megan. That's it. So when we cease to separate ourselves by talking about our experience and we step fully into it, the Lady of Communion says, are you willing to be that experience, to transmit it from the embodied flesh and blood and bones and breath of your being? That changes everything, because when I hear you share it from that place, my heart explodes and I find tears running down my face, because I'm receiving you. Not just you and your personality, but the you that's behind that, the essence that is speaking to my essence that's going, isn't this gorgeous? And that's what shifts when we start to speak from the mythic lens. And we are at that part in our journey, beloveds, where it's time for us to deepen our skill set. The Lady of Communion is practical. She is hands-on. She is rubber meets the road. She's like, I am done with you talking about it. Now you need to be embodying this in your world. I am that. Thank you, Megan, for sharing so beautifully into the beauty of nature that is not separate, but part of who we are. It is who we are. Okay, beautiful. We have a couple more hands up. Let's just keep sharing into the richness of this field, how the Lady of Communion is coming through every single one of us in this moment. So dropping back down if you need to receive this in emptiness, but coming back in, letting yourself feel your presence. And let's hear from the next sister that wishes to share. What is real?
I am queen among queens. I am the sovereign creatrix. I use the tool of bow and arrow as crystalline laser vision of manifestation. And in this amplified temple with my sisters, I welcome in my temple for nourishment and for service.
Oh, so witness you, sister. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful offering. I witnessed that crystalline intention and the bow and arrow of that being released into our midst, of us understanding truly that that is the tool, one of the tools that we're being asked to today to really get that lives within us, that we have access to that. Thank you, sweetheart. Yum. Okay. Let's see.
Catherine, sweetheart, you are unmuted.
Let's receive Catherine.
I am aware of the strength that lies in the presence. And as I'm flipping back and forth, I can see the difference. Going into the mental state is where the fear rises up, the discord, the disturbances. And then dropping back into presence is the stillness, peace, and strength.
Thank you for that awareness. Very beautiful. To be willing to be out of judgment and to just go back and forth between those different states, recognizing, right, what they feel like. That's how we come back to our sovereign throne, is we go, oh, what takes me away? The past and the future, the worry and the fear, the old patterns. And what needs to happen for me to choose? I'm going to come back to choosing to come back here. That is the discipline of the Lady of Communion. She says, you have choice. How will you choose to use that choice? That is it. You are always at choice about how you think about, how you act toward, how you embody what is real and true and authentic for you. So is there one more sister, belovedly? I think there is, who had her hand up that we want to hear from in this moment of what is real.
Yes, Andrea Steimer.
Welcome, beloved. What is real?
I am a powerful creatrix. That's why I'm here.
Can you say that a little louder so we can really receive it, my love?
I am a powerful creatrix.
I witness you for the one. For what you are truly stating is that we are powerful creatrix. All of us. This space is a powerful creatrix space. And our choice to step fully into it, to bring ourselves to the table, to the sovereign queen's round table, to sit upon our sovereign throne and to choose to fully be here, is the initiation that we now stand in. So I want to ask you all in this moment to feel into sovereignty. What is it to be a sovereign being? I am sovereign. I am the ability to sit in the center. I cease looking outside of myself for validation or confirmation of my worth or my value. I know it as inherent and part of the noble birthright of being a divine human. I am sovereign. Anyone else want to speak into what is it to be a sovereign being? I will come to the chat window also to see what people are sharing there. Okay, blessings. So let us really feel into what it means to be sovereign. Really want us to feel into that. Elizabeth, I've got you. You are spotlighted, sister. What is it to be sovereign?
I am sovereign. I am deeply rooted and reach toward heaven like the oak. I spread my arms wide and provide a home for others, and yet I know my own truth in every moment. I shine.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
That image of the oak tree stretching to the stars and down to the earth, that tree of life image, the Kabbalah, the deeper sense of our embodied state of being divine human vessels, is at the heart of our sovereignty. That we are not here as puppets in someone else's game. We are here defining the game. Beautiful. Beautiful. I am sovereign. I am grounded and open. I sit at the center of the storm, transparent and powerful. Thank you, beloved. That's a beautiful offering. Transparent and powerful. Those two together. Feel those together. That our transparency, our mutability is powerful. Our willingness to show ourselves while sitting in our power is an aspect of what it means to be powerful from this authentic state. So as we feel into this, I want to offer the gate question to you all. So I'm going to ask you all to drop down and within yourselves for a moment here. Feeling the seat of your sovereign throne. Feeling yourself holding in space. I'm asking you now to approach the gate of this temple. And so when you're ready, you can open your eyes to receive me in emptiness again, emptying out, coming to the gateway to deepen now inside this temple. I am the gate of your authentic power. What is it that seemingly is apparently obstructing you from stepping fully into me? I say it one more time. I really want you to feel what arises. I am the gate of your authentic power. What apparently stands in the way or obstructs you from standing fully in me? And so just letting that rise up from within you. And if you wish to state it by raising your hand or to just put it into the chat window, but truly to speak it aloud in this moment, what is it that seemingly, and that's an important part of the gate question, apparently is obstructing you? In other words, it's the thing you put in the way that says, well, I can't stand in my power because if I do, this is what will happen according to the old story. So what is it that obstructs you, sisters? Just feel into that for a moment. And I'm going to unmute Letty. I'm going to ask you to speak, Letty. What is it that seems to be in the way of your authentic power, sister?
What's in the way of my authentic power is feeling as though my financial status disqualifies me to be in leadership of others who may have more than me, really. And that there's a story that says that if you're not standing on solid ground, then you can't stand before anyone else.
So I want you to feel that for a moment. And are you willing to be in an initiation this moon now around this story? You diminish your power. You diminish your power based upon this story, sister. Are you willing to feel the price of that?
I feel like I feel it.
Right.
I feel it
right now.
Every day. I feel it right now.
Right. And I'm asking you,
my
are
heart.
you willing to lay it down? Are you willing to have this laid down to enter this temple, this door? Right. I'm really asking you to choose in conscious awareness right now. Do you choose to enter this temple? And in so doing, lay down that story. Number one, because you are not alone in this story, sweetheart. This is a massive, massive story that holds so many of us hostage. So.
Yes, I choose to lay down this story.
Thank you for the one.
Now.
Thank you. And now all that needs to happen is for you to enter into the initiation of what it means to lay down that story. But that is clear. I will. Thank you for naming it for all of us. Narayana. Thank you, Letty. Yeah, holding you in love. But the alchemy of you choosing to name that story and lay it down is where you reclaim your power. Do you get that, sister? Because that's a power leak for you. Major.
Major.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, beloved. Okay. So you can feel how powerful it is to be held accountable to standing in our authentic power and what's in the way. So anyone else want to speak to that, to really be witnessed? Because there's power in being witnessed here. And I'm seeing, if there's anyone else, fear of my power and how I may have used it in my past lives or my present life. Because this is the truth. When we step into power and we claim our authentic power, oh, then do the initiations come about how you utilize that power, right? Because when you have power, there's so many slippery things you can do with that power to manipulate and control. And then we have to really become impeccable with looking at our motivations, right? What's motivating your intentional purpose in the world? What is coming up for the motivation? And if we don't clear that up, then we're really in trouble, because we see all those people with power doing horrible things with it, right? And we don't want to be one of them. But what we don't do is get into the pool and say, okay, well, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to try to do it a different way. And that's what this is about. Like, we have to get ourselves into the pool and choose to show up. It's no good holding back over here and saying, well, I just won't claim this power as mine. Right? Claiming the power as mine is not saying it's mine. It's saying I'm claiming the power as my responsibility to utilize in this life. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. This is a rich temple. I'm muting you, Aurora.
Yes. For me, what stands in the way is this fear of being seen, fear of being judged. I feel I'm about to embark on a wonderful adventure. So I have the excitement, but there's the obstruction of.
What is it really? Really feel it in an archetypal, mythical way right now. What is the story? What seemingly obstructs me from standing in my power is.
Fear of being seen.
Okay. So I want you to feel that. And for the one, all of us who've ever had that story, that if I show up and I'm seen, I'm going to be attacked or humiliated or judged or shamed. for not being enough, or for doing it wrong, or whatever it is, right? Okay. So what do you choose in this moment? From your sovereign self, what do you choose to alchemize as you step into this journey, this initiation? Whew. Yes. There it is.
I choose to stand in my sovereignty, to fill my power completely, and to offer this gift.
Okay.
To stand as my mythic self.
Thank you. I choose to stand as my mythic self. I choose to give up the story of the small self. Thank you for the one. So anyone else that's choosing that right now, choose it alongside her, because she's doing it for all of us. I choose that. Right? Thank you, beloved. We witness you. Okay, beautiful. Unmuting you in Anim. Here we go. I'm trying to find, where are you? There you are. There you are, my sister.
I choose to release the story of chronic pelvic pain and low physical energy. I stand in my sovereignty and gratitude for my moon cycle.
Thank you, beloved. And to be in the power of that as your medicine is what I'm also hearing. Thank you, beloved. We witness you. Okay. So my invitation in this moment is for us to feel all that is being brought up by the request of Mother for you to claim your authentic power. And all of the ways in which this is a universal collective story of all the sisters and brothers in the entire world, in this consciousness, in this moment, who are on the bridge of them choosing their authentic power, and how our choice inside this temple is not a localized choice of one being in one life, but is actually a choice being made for the collective. And so your choice is the collective's choice and affects all beings who are standing on this brink, on this threshold of initiation around power and the right use of power. And that is how important it is that we come back to our individual knowing of when we're being called to authentic power and what's in the way. It is not about one of us, it is about the collective. And as we step deeper onto the path of this alchemy, I'm going to ask that you hold this in mind and heart at all times, that everything that you're amplifying in your own individual responsible choice affects all beings. That is what it means to be in communion. To think for the whole, to act for the whole, while staying connected to the truth of the one. That is the alchemy, Heros Gamas. It's not just male and female, it's above and below, it's within and without, it's the one and the all, it's all duality coming into sacred union within us simultaneously. And being able to see and feel from that position in consciousness is the ask of the Lady of Communion. That responsibility not be something that someone tells you you have to do. That accountability is not some punishment for not being good enough. That discipline is not about an enforced rule of you have to do it this way, otherwise you're lazy. That commitment is not something you have to do because if you don't, you're seen as being flaky, right? This is sourced from within your spiritual integrity of what feels right to you as a sovereign being, aware of your nature in communion with all beings. So I see your hand up, Hege. I want to witness you. Someone's unmuting you in this moment. There you go, beloved. You are here.
I fear being punished if I step into my power.
Thank you for that awareness. And what is real in this moment, sister, as you stand at this gate, do you choose to enter in?
Yes, I choose to enter in.
Then we witness you in alchemizing that fear that if I choose to step into my power, I'm somehow going to be punished. It's a powerful story. And it's one that keeps us small. So I witness you, beloved, in that movement. Thank you. To all of us who fear being punished for stepping into our power, we transmute that now. Narayana. Narayana. Thank you, beloved. Let me see here. Just witnessing. I see a lot of witnessing happening. So this is what I'm going to ask us to do in this moment, is to really consider what is authentic power. Because authentic power really flies in the face of what power actually is. Does that make sense? What is authentic power, beloveds? I want to invite you to feel it in your being. What does it mean to stand in a place of authentic power? Let's really just feel into this for a moment. And I'm going to read to you in a second a little transmission on this authentic power. But I want you to just feel it for yourself for a moment. So we're used to a model of power that is dominating, that is power over, that is authoritative, that is based upon the patriarchal model of hierarchy. That it says that if I have power, it takes power from you. And that the more power that I have, the more I am able to be in charge and be in control. And my viewpoint is more important because I have more power. Like Letty, your statement that because you don't have as much money that it diminishes your power. That's a very patriarchal way of understanding power. And power that makes others submit, power that takes from others, power that assumes that there's only one leader, one winner, and therefore they're all the others who are losers, right? That whole hierarchical, whole idea of power has us in a world where power is acquired and power is misused. It's an agreement field that's not real. It's only real because it's a story that's been told and repeated so many times that we've forgotten what's real. And so the arising of our authentic power, I want you to listen to this and take this in as light food. Feminine power is innately cooperative, based on surrender, love, heart-centered awareness, synergy. Power is two things, energy and choice. And in the end, love is the only power that is. I want you to feel that one more time. Power is two things, energy and choice. And in the end, love is the only power there is. So I'm coming back over to your screen for a moment because I was looking at another screen. Come back over here. And I want to read what's coming up. Authentic power feels like a soft ear, always to the ground, listening, sure-footedness. Each movement an offering to the altar of love, clear choice no matter what. How beautiful, a soft ear to the ground. Beautiful. I am authentic power. I am the ability, the responsibility to choose for myself at every moment. I am an authentic power. I am I am authentic power that is aligned with joy and source. When I think of power this way, I know that no one can take it away from me. It is power in communion with source. That's the key to living as my mythic self. Thank you. It's power in communion with source. That's a beautiful offering. Yes. And the more that we surrender our control of what it is that we think we want from our old stories, right? The ones that have been formulating our lives and creating our lives unconsciously, the more conscious we become of choosing the story we're living in and what we're intending, the more we become available to surrender to the power of the divine that wants to move through us. Then we step into that mythic self and become available. Surrender is the first gateway, remember? Great Mother said, are you willing to surrender to receive? Who's still working on surrendering to receiving? Be honest. Who's still in that initiation of surrender? I get it. Of course we are. That is how this all works. It's not a linear journey. It's a holographic journey. So each gateway you come to, every gateway you've already been through, and every gateway you'll ever go through is presence in that moment, in this moment, because in time, we're in timelessness, right? There is no future. There is no past. We're here. And so in this moment, what do you choose? That's it. Authentic power is embracing all aspects of myself, to not allow others' opinions or reactions to take me away from knowing who I am, to be the light so others can find theirs. Power is freedom of judgment. Thank you, LaTonya. That's beautiful. Yes, that ability to stay in the sovereign self, to know what's true and real for you, and to hold that center. That is your choice around how you are embodying your power. Authentic power recognizes that communion or oneness is not homogeneous, but is very much inclusive of all mythologies, all modes of mythic story, that is not concerned with getting rid of what is in the way, but rather embracing and including as it transcends all that is, as it is, because love is all there is, even when that which feels like it is in the way. What is in the way has been uniquely granted to each one of us and our individual pathways to awareness. Beautiful inclusion, Marjorie. Thank you for that viewpoint. Yes, what's apparently in the way is never really in the way. It's our medicine to take in order for us to alchemize into the presence of fully being here. What a gift. Aho, aho. So let's take a moment to feel this. This concern about authentic power brings a question of what it is that wobbles us from our sovereign thrones. In other words, what are the things that cause you to lose the knowing of who you are? In other words, we might say, where are you leaking your power, beloveds? And this is a little invitation right now for you to feel into your life currently, right now, not past, but in the here and now, and to get a piece of paper for this moment and to just do a little exercise with me around your power. I want you to feel into, in your life, situations where you feel drained, relationships where you feel out of alignment, any project that you do not have joy for, any place where you feel tired or listless when you think about it. I want you to write down what it is. Just stream of consciousness. Where are the places where you do not feel connected to your joy? Where you somehow feel drained, tired, unmotivated, avoidant? And just begin to pinpoint those. And don't think too much. Just write them down right now. Any place where you feel you're trying to control things, where you'll feel that you are somehow imbalanced. It could be in relationship to your body, to your food, to exercise. It could be in relationship to people, projects, money, anywhere that you feel intuitively that you are somehow out of alignment. You're somehow leaking your power. I want you to feel into it. Just continue to write until there's nothing left to write. We're going to take about a minute longer with this. Yeah. And as you write these down, as you see these written down, I want you to feel what is happening as you write them down. Feel in your body as you presence any of these situations. And now, as you've written them down, I want you to look at the list. And I want you to circle the top 3. The top 3 that really feel like they're screaming at you when you look at them. And I want you to feel into where in your body you feel that power leak. Where do you notice it? When you look at that situation, it could be a situation with a beloved or a family member. When you think about the issue at hand, where do you notice that in your body? Where do you feel that feeling of your energy spiraling down? Where do you feel that place of like, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to want to deal with this. Like, I just want to bury my head in the sand. Like, where in your body does that happen? And notice if it's located around a specific chakra, from at the base all the way up to the crown. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Like, is it in a general location of a certain chakra? And just make note of that to yourself. Because our power leaks out of our energy centers, and the chakras are nothing but energy centers in our bodies that are located into different frequencies, right? That's really what it is. Why each chakra has a different color is it's a different frequency of energy that's being emitted from there that we have come to understand and apply meaning to as being our survival issues, our sexual issues, our issues of the heart, our issues of power and authority, our issues to do with speaking our truths, right? That's living in our body. And so whichever chakra is lighting up, you might want to just ask right now, okay? The power leaks connected into my survival. I'm not having this conversation. For example, this could be an example. I'm not having this conversation about money with this person who owes me money, and there's a power leak that's happening, and that's affecting me, my root, right? I'm feeling unstable in my root because it's to do with my survival and to do with scarcity and to do with not enoughness. But if I have this conversation, somehow it's going to not go well. That's just an example of me making that connection. Okay. In my gut, all 3 of them, says Sandy. In my womb, says Anne. In my womb and heart and core, says Latanya. Beautiful. So now, beloveds, I want you to go back in for a second and look at these power leaks. And I want you to feel the price of that power leak. How is it affecting your emotional, physical, spiritual health? What's the cost of the power leak? How is it affecting you, turning up as a symptom in your life? What's the cost of it? And just really get honest with yourself. This is what authenticity is about. It's about looking at this through the eyes of love, but the willingness to be vulnerable enough to say, this is the price of that. I shared with you all just recently about the blindness that happened in my left eye, right? As a result of overstress, of a pattern of leaking my power by pushing myself too hard in so many arenas of my life as a habit over my lifetime. And the power leak was really huge enough to exhibit in a symptom that stopped me from being able to do any of it. And I know I'm not alone in having these experiences, because that's how Goddess likes to come visit us, especially Kali Ma, right? But the power leak was for me was to get real. The cost of my sight, how big a cost does it need to be, right? So that's the power leak, and we need to get serious about it, because it will show up as symptoms in our body, in our physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. And that is the nature of the Lady of Communion. She brings it through the body now, right? So when we continue to ignore where we are leaking our power and not being in our truth and not being authentic, then we're going to start to feel that in our physical health, in our financial health, in our emotional health, in our relationship, because that's where it's coming to, through the body. Mortificatio is that piece where it comes back through the vessel of our bodies to be felt in this realm, so that we can actually be real about what needs to shift in this dimension. Beautiful. Life is the cost, as Pauline says. I feel the leak in my solar plexus, from the cell wall to the ethers. Power leak is in my heart, my soul, the solar and my crown. Back pain, low emotions, and fatigue. Thank you, sisters. So I want you to feel, without going into this and making it a whole heavy thing, that you are a choice. So I want you to come back into your sovereign thrones for a moment. Feel your sovereign throne beneath you, and you as a sovereign being are a choice. So I want you to now look at your list, and through the eyes of the sovereign queen, the Lady of Communion, I wish you to choose one that blares out to you right now that is saying it's time to deal with this right now. We're clearing this up right now. So just choose one and let it jump up to you, the one that is like, this is done. Through this gateway of authentic power, I am done with this particular power leak. Because you might have many, but we can pull on one thread and they're all connected, I promise you. So just choose the one. That's the beauty of the holographic universe. You can start anywhere and pull on any thread. It's going to lead you back to the same place in the end. So choose one. And now I want to invite you, if you want to put your hand up right now to be witnessed. No, actually, let's slow that down for a moment. I want you to choose one, and I want you to feel into what needs to be cleared up. What is it that you need to clear up? In order to end that power leak, what do you need to choose to do? And just feel it in your gut, like let it rise up from within you. Don't let your head get into the, oh, how am I going to do this? Just ask, what is it that needs to shift here in order for this power leak to be done? And as we all are speaking for the one, Toy Lin, you put your hand up in perfect timing to speak for the one, sister. So what? I'm going to unmute you. What is the power leak? And what are you choosing?
I release right now. I wholeheartedly choose to release the need to be perfect in my offerings. I so want to be messy and playful and the young child and the beginner mind and just do it.
So let us be clear. The power leak is your perfectionism.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. And that plays out in all kinds of ways in your life and stops you from actually creating.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister. So I want you to feel that pattern in your body right now. And all of us, any of us who have a perfection power leak here, where we don't do perfect and need to be perfect, feel this for the one. Okay, so I want you to feel the price of all of that. And I want you to feel all of your power tied up behind that. Yeah, really feel it in your body now to transmute it. What do you choose, sister?
I choose to be free.
I choose to be free. Okay, brilliant. And now, Lady of Communion, in her guile, is going to say to you this. What's the one practical step that you need to take to finish this power leak? And I mean nuts and bolts here. Rubber meets the road. What do you need to actually do? Yes.
Just do it. I know exactly what I need to do.
So tell us what it is that you need to do, sister, because we're going to hold you accountable to it. Oh, yes, we are.
It is actually doing all the recordings that I've created scripts for.
Yay! I am choosing to record the scripts I have already developed. Is that it? And when are you going to choose to do that by, sister? Let's put a real timeline around this. Yes. Yeah, no, breathe and feel. This is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah.
I choose the scripts that I've written so far. I choose to start today recording them and have them done within 2 weeks.
I witnessed you. And now, This is the truth. Are you willing to report in on the Facebook page and let us know that you are completing this project for yourself?
Yeah. Yes.
So can
I
you
would love
see
to.
how the Lady of Communion moves it all the way through from a nice idea about, I want to finish this power leak, to actually grounding it in an action? That is the arrow being shot. Okay, got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you're in a commitment with yourself, and this is the truth, and I'm going to say this for all of us. This is one of the pinnacles of the Lady of Communion. Do not make a commitment to clear up a power leak that you're not willing to really do. Because what happens then is we attempt to do it, and then we don't really do it, and then we have another power leak on our hands, because now we're doing the power leak around power leak around power leak, right? That's not what this is. So you have to be willing to hold yourself accountable to it, and if you need to change it, then change it rather than break it with yourself. Don't break the agreement, change the agreement. Does that make sense to everybody? That's a very different thing, because when we break an agreement with self, that's another power leak. So Toy, I witnessed you, and I am so excited to see what you're creating. I mean, really, what are these scripts all about? I want to know. Ding. Very beautiful. Okay, so now you've got the picture of how this works. Anyone else want to use a little bit of time right now for the collective, for the one? Put your hand up. Anyone else got another one that wants to be witnessed and worked with for the one? Okay, good. Thank you, Jen. Unmuting you. All right, you are here. Yeah, got you. So what is the power leak essentialized version, and what is your commitment?
My power leak is my relationship with my parents, in particular with my mother. And what was the next part?
So what is the nature of that power leak? What do you do that leaks your power with your mother?
I do not show up fully as myself. I hide a part of myself.
Woo!
There's a part of my parents that don't approve of me being in power. And not only don't approve, there's something about it, my senses, that's very scary to them. And I understand.
Great. So your challenge is to be yourself, regardless of whether they find it palatable or not.
That's right. And even, I mean, right now
So feel this. Feel the cost of your inauthenticity. Yeah. And you're hiding. Because it's not just with them. They're just the object. This is in your world, right? This is a big pattern of how you avoid stepping into authentic power, is that others won't approve of you if you do so. Yeah.
That's right.
I really get that, sister.
And not only won't approve, it's like somehow it will destroy others. It will be at the cost.
Ooh, that's a powerful myth, isn't it? That if I stand in my power, I will destroy. Right? I mean, but feel the truth. You feel that story running through you, that that's somehow what you've picked up. Right? And that there is truth in power being able to destroy, but power is also here to create. So I want you to feel this is really beautiful. Alchemizing this. So what do you choose? What is the power leak that you need to clear up? So first of all, what do you choose?
I choose.
Yes.
I choose to live my life fully and to be myself fully. I want to be me in this world, in this lifetime.
Got it. Let us witness you in that. That is the alchemical statement. I choose to be myself fully. Let us witness that. I'm going to ding to that. To us all choosing to be ourselves fully. What a gift. Ooh, there's a lot of energy behind that. Because that's part of the amnesia that we're in. Yeah, there's Mia Kali in this room right now. I hear you. She never went anywhere. Woo! So now, let's bring it down to the nuts and bolts, rubber meets the road version. What is one action you can take to actually bring this all the way through?
I'm already taking action. And the next action I'm taking is I'm returning the Bible my mother sent to me. She sent me her Bible because she feels I'm going to hell because of the way I'm.
Okay, breathe. Just breathe that all the way through for all of us who've ever been in this situation, in this lifetime or others. This whole notion that you're going to go to hell for being yourself is what I'm hearing we're transmuting. Yeah, I'm holding that with you, sister. This is not real. That is her belief.
Yes.
And she gets to have that belief, but you also get to have yours. That's what it means to be sovereign. So your sovereign act is to return the Bible to her and as her Bible and say, I don't need it.
Yes.
This is my sovereign truth.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, sister. And when would you like to do this by? When would this feel aligned?
I am either I'm scheduling, I'm returning it to her in person.
Okay.
Because there's a conversation. I want to give it back to her with love and just
yes.
All of this is yours, not mine.
Yes.
So I commit to today having my plane ticket by tomorrow because it involves a plane ticket. I need to make travel plans.
So I want you to be clear that what you're choosing is this mythical quest to return something to her, which is hers, and in so doing, claim your sovereignty and do it through love, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, and I feel in me, there's something that says, because I feel very clearly my honoring of what I'm saying. And there's a voice saying, wait a minute, don't say tomorrow because maybe there's some things that I need to clear up. That
okay. So make sure it's clear.
Yes. So I will do that by the end of this week.
Thank you for picking that up. That's so important. That's feeling navigation right there. Is that aligned? So, if every time we say something, we can actually check and say, well, is that actually real and true? Or am I accommodating whatever? There's nothing to accommodate here. Your truth and your alignment is what you're practicing right now, sister. So thank you for that catch. How beautiful. So we hold you to that. Can you let us know when you have your plane ticket on the page?
Yes.
Because this is part of this moon.
Yes. And I want to also speak to what this is big for me. And I recognize this. Like, I haven't even been on the Facebook page once. It's something about also a power leak, not showing up here fully.
Great. Thank you for owning that, Jen. And I know you've just stepped out of invisibility by showing up in the temple, which happened recently. So now what I'm hearing is you're willing to show up and be accountable and be connected and to come out of hiding. And the Facebook page is just a vehicle for you to do that. Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Ooh, sister, thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you. And thank
really
you.
Witnessing. Yeah. Narayana, all the way through. We're so holding you with this quest, which feels very mythical to me and very much to do with your higher self stepping in now. Beautiful. Thank you. Gorgeous. Wow. Well, there's just an awful lot of witnessing for you, Jen. So have a read of what people have written. Everyone's witnessing you. Narayana, sweetheart. So this is the game, folks. You got it? This is part of the game for this moon, is power leaks and clearing them up. This is what it means to step back into authentic power. So what I want to empower in this space now is for us to share within our sister circles, to share with one another, to share in the Facebook group, but to really share those lists of where our power leaks and what we're committing to and what the action is. Now, I've taken a couple of us through it. We all get it, right? It's what is the power leak? What are you committing to clearing up? And then what is the rubber meets the road action you're going to take, right? And speaking that inside of this circle is incredibly powerful, but also speaking it to others in your life, saying it aloud. Once you say something aloud to another, you're committing to be accountable to it. That's part of how we work in community, in communion, right? Is that we actually share it with one another. So this is my invitation for today. Now for the breakout groups, for those of you who want to stay on, we're going to put you into a breakout group. And what I'd like you to do is to practice this skill that we just practiced together, which is, this is the power leak. This is how I'm being called to clear it up. And this is the action, right? And help one another to get to the real action and get to the commitment, because that's the one we dilly-dally with. We can get the energetic one, but the Lady of Communion is about threading it all the way through to a real, demonstrable, embodied shift. which means that you actually have to shoot the arrow with your bow. You actually have to do the action, right? In alignment with what you've said. And that seals the deal. That's the alchemy. Isn't it cool? It feels so good when we get into alignment again, get back on our sovereign throne. So is there any other comments or anything that wants to be said into the collective right now before we do the breakout groups? I'm aware that I really want to give you some time in those groups. So let's just drop down and in to feel if there's anything that wants to be named. Yay. Let's just feel. What is in your awareness as we shift now to the end of the temple? I'm aware of having stepped through another gateway in the mystery with you all and grounding in our practice in such a visceral way that feels so tangible and so real in my body. And I'm feeling the deep gratitude for the Lady of Communion's energetic in our temple to bring it to this place of our embodied being and what we are being asked to do as a vessel of the divine. I'm really, really grateful for that. I want to unmute you, Carly Sue. Here you are, darling. Yes, there you are.
I just want to be witnessed and committing to work at my studio, in my studio space every day and not be distracted by other obligations.
Beautiful. So when you say every day, you mean to spend a chunk of time in your studio every day, or what does that mean? Let's get really clear.
A chunk of time. It doesn't even matter if it's only half an hour, but every day.
So you commit to being in your studio every day for a period of time to visit with that aspect.
Yes.
You're being very clear. Thank you, sister. We hold you in that. Narayana.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, let me just see if there's any other pieces here. I think that bowing out here too. So let us take a moment to bring ourselves to presence, the green and the gold, and this fantastic opportunity for us to come into the inquiry of authentic power and sovereignty this week. And we'll build on this next week in the deepening temple, but let's start here. There's so much richness in this temple. So what I'd love to do now is to invite those of you who need to bow out, but those of you who can stay for this golden opportunity, literally, to sort through some of these power leaks and be witnessed in real time. I really invite you to do this if you can, because it's a powerful catalyzer for us to be witnessed in this space. I'm going to stop the recording now.